Folks, we have breaking news regarding Jonathan Kuminga. It's the least surprising breaking news you'll ever hear. The Warriors qualified Jonathan Kuminga for $7.8 million. Woo! Exactly what we expected, knew would happen if he signs that, which he's not. He is not, don't worry. It is a steal. So this starts the free agency period. Draft is done. We broke that down. Now it's the Kaminga show, figuring out what happens and how the rest of the dominoes will fall. We're going to break down the situation, the timeline of the next steps for Kaminga, and then also some other free agency news from Mike Dunleavy Jr. Please like, subscribe to Warriors Digest. We give you all the breaking news here. You guys don't want to miss it. You see my hair is messy. I'm out here stressing about what's going to happen, and I want to give you great content. So please subscribe so you guys don't miss anything. Let's get into it. So as I said, Warriors made the expected move on Saturday. They had until Sunday to do it. Extended Kaminga for $7.9 million. Let me show this really quickly. If you go right here, folks. Again, let me blow it up for you. Final year of his deal, restricted deal, $7.6 million. We have his bird rights. They extend him $7.9 million. That's what he's getting. He becomes officially a restricted free agent. Monday's negotiating period starts at 3 p.m. Pacific. Athletic and Sporadic first reported the news. So now the question is, once he declines it, what's next? How much will he get on the open market? At 15 points a game, 4 rebounds, 45% shooting from the field, 30% from 3. I was hoping to be 40 this year. He was 30. Was not good. The team with the most salary cap space, Brooklyn Nets. Sign and trade is something we've broken down a lot. Again, he was hampered by an ankle injury. Butler coming, lost rotation time, did not play, coach's decision, end the season, beginning of playoffs, and then when Curry went out, really did a nice job against the Rockets. Kaminga believes he can be a great player. Drafted 14th in the draft, won a championship with the Warriors. So did Moody, both taking that draft. Now the question is, what will Kaminga do with his future? Well, there's also questions about free agency in general. Again, the Kaminga domino is the biggest domino to fall. What guys are going to be here, and how do we complement them? Steve Kerr said again and again he didn't like to fit a Butler, Green, and Kaminga together. But with another year under his belt, he would test it a lot to see if it would work better. Is Kaminga willing to take a 2-year deal with the Warriors to get a 3rd-year player option and see how that works and line up with Butler, Green, and Curry on their contracts? Dunleavy says we need a specific skill set for both balls. Duh. You needed to thread the needle. Duh. He was just window dressing here. What players are available? Offensively, make shots. Duh. We talked about this again and again. Pick and roll, catch and shoot, dribble, be able to pass, handling the ball. Without Steph Curry, BP a little bit. Other than that, not a lot going on. Reading the game. Guys who are great shooters. On the other end, defensively can't do anything. It's a problem. I can't bring a guy who's a great shooter and not play defense. You have to be able to guard. Cool, Dunleavy. Make this team better. Not giving us a lot there at all. Why the Warriors didn't draft first-round picks? Again, this all plays into Kaminga, folks, and just what the team is doing. We're probably more protective of them than most teams. I mean, look at the draft picks the Knicks got for first round from Brooklyn for Bridges. OKC, all their first-round picks they've acquired. Things like that. We're probably more protective of them than most teams because not knowing after a few years what our roster is, the uncertainty of that, putting those picks out in the future makes us in a bad situation. Again, let's take a look right here. What is he talking about? 27-28, Curry, Butler, Green are off your books. So if you're trading your first-round picks, which they have, which I can show you, 28, 29, 30, 31, then you're really screwed. You're not going to have any stars because who knows if they're going to want to play, retire, do you want to keep them? And then if you don't have the ability to draft young players and rebuild, you're going to be in purgatory for a decade. A decade. So that's why they're really trying to hold on and not trade those picks because it's not worth it to trade those picks because you're going to be seeing probably a rebuild starting in 27-28 or a retool I don't think Butler, Green, and Curry are coming back in that slate. They're really going to go 2 years. And again, who knows what happens. But then if you sign Kaminga for 2+3, again, tying this all together, that puts him 2 years tied up with Butler, Green, and Curry. And then he can decide if he wants to stay player option 27-28 or leave. Oops. We don't have many second-round picks, so those first-round picks are extremely valuable and viable for the Warriors. The good news is they always can dangle the carrot and have those picks. The question is it a smart idea to give them away? Because they're not playing in 2032, so what he's saying is, like, we need players around to be able to be successful for us when that comes around. We had this 2-year gap of, like, young and the old build. Obviously, that didn't really work. Now you're all in on Butler, Curry, and Draymond. You have your first-round picks, but when you put $59, $54, $25 million worth of salary, 80% of your salary is going to 3 players, you're at a deficit. That takes you again to the Kaminga trade. Is like, on the open market, they don't have a lot they can do. If they sign Kaminga, say $20 million, look at the first apron space. They have $24 million. He'll basically take up the rest of your first apron. They cannot pass the second apron. It limits significantly your roster construction. If you watch the NBA draft, they talked about this again and again on ESPN. You don't want to break the second apron. You're basically hindered in signing players in free agency, doing trades, things like that. So they have, you're going to pay penalties and tax, luxury tax, by going over the aprons, which they're willing to do because obviously they got Butler and they're paying all this money. However, $36 million to spend in free agency is basically their limit. That's not including re-signing GP2 if you want, re-signing Looney if you want. I'm not saying they should. I'm just telling you what they got to do, and then bringing back other players to fill out the roster. Kaminga gets $25 million. That basically gives you $11 million for the rest of the team. Is GP2 willing to take a discount from $9 million to less? Is Looney willing to take a discount from $9 million to less? Can you go get a big man in free agency? Can you get a 3-and-D player? I saw a lot of comments on YouTube about, make myself bigger. Oh my God, why did we not sign an undrafted rookie who's a center? How many 7-foot centers get undrafted? Not a lot. How many of them are quality? Maybe not a lot as well. You can get better value at guards, shooters, and develop them, which Warriors do have a good G League team. They do have a good G League team, but they don't play a lot on the NBA team. So that's where it's important to understand what the Warriors are trying to do. I think they're going to sign a big man in free agency, but it all comes down to, folks, Kaminga. The Kaminga domino fell. Domino 1 we knew would fall the way it did. He had to get the tender from the Warriors. No way you're not going to offer him $7.9 million. Now he's going to decline it. That will be his second option, become a restricted free agent. He can start fielding offers, and the Warriors have the right to match anybody. The question is, how long does this draw out? Are the Warriors going to be able to do this relatively quickly with him, or do they miss the opportunity to get other free agents because they're waiting on Kaminga? That is a question that is going to be very pertinent, and we're going to keep you updated on everything here in Warriors Digest. Subscribe, comment your thoughts, and we'll keep you in the loop.